Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the Yinzer Bros. Tim, this should be a great Yinzer Brothers podcast. Tim just finished a large sausage pizza all by himself. How you feeling?
That is such a false statement. It was not a large sausage pizza.
How big was it, Tim?
It was actually small, but we had a little salad on the side.
How many pieces did you have?
I had 3 of the sausage, and I had a half of my wife's plain pizza, just a half a slice.
I was just say that equals a whole pizza.
No,
right?
Half a slice and some salad that was basically drenched in some type of special dressing that probably has a whole bunch of sodium in it and MSG too.
So Tim, if you're not watching on our podcast, you're just listening, you can see the top of Tim's head glistening a little bit from the sweat from the sausage. I'm guessing maybe the cheese, the oil from the cheese. So Tim is loaded for bear.
And it was the deep dish stuff too. It wasn't like
So these aren't just thin ones. You had 4 slices of deep dish pizza?
We would consider those 3.5.
So how many pieces of normal pizza would that be, Tim?
What do we considering normal?
I don't know, like a regular thin sliced pizza.
I don't know. A couple.
So Tim will be loaded for bear. He might even fall asleep before the rest of the podcast. But today is the Steelers Bengals preview podcast. Our Steelers are 8-0, and they play the 2-5-1 Bengals at home, Heinz Field, 4:15 this Sunday. Should be great. I think it's safe to say, Tim, that the Bengals are better than their 2-5-1 record. Should be an interesting game. But again, normally I would feel pretty good about this. But as you know, we've got the COVID monster to deal with. We had 4 players put on the COVID watch list because of stupid face McDonald, who felt
he's
sick
not stupid
before
face.
the game.
I can't call him stupid face. I mean, there's only one true stupid face on that team.
I thought he was dumb face.
He's every face wrapped up into one. I mean, put it this way. Vance is on the list.
Vance should be on the list.
He's number 1 on the list, and he's before COVID. COVID's 2 on the list. Vance is 1 on the list. So just think about that right now.
So if you haven't heard, obviously we've got Vance McDonald tested positive. You got Ben, who is, again, he didn't test positive, but because of the close contact, he had to go under COVID protocol. We had Vince Williams, who's basically the quarterback of the defense, had to go under the protocol. Who else did we lose? We lost
Chooks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Why do you let this dude? Why did you even let him get on the plane?
I don't know. Make him take the bus. He should have taken a bus.
I mean, you knew he was sick. Anybody right now, if I go into work and I hear somebody cough, I'm like, that dude has the COVID. Why do you even let him on the plane? If you send him home and he's sick, he stinks anyways. He has paddles for hands. Why do you even let him on the plane?
That's a good question. He only played 20 snaps too.
I mean, don't let him get on a plane. And what they need to do from now on is Ben should be in a constant bubble. 24. What are the big plastic bubbles? 24.
Like the bubble boy. I remember like the bubble boy.
They should have him one of them bubbles the whole time. Only time he gets zipped out is when he has to go to practice for a second. Maybe I don't even know if he needs to do that. Just poke his one arm out, have it cover his arm, and have his face come out, and he can just throw. The only time he comes out of that bubble is game time.
I agree. Why on earth, too? I'm sorry. If there's a chance Ben McDonald's not feeling good,
it's Vance.
Why on earth are they? Why are they sitting next to each other on the plane? I'm sorry, Vance. If you're feeling bad, you're in the back of the plane. I don't care who you are. You're in the back of the plane. There's luggage in front of you.
The back of the plane.
Well, I'd put him in the front.
I would put him in where you have to go to the toilet. There's 2 toilets in the front and the back. I'd put him in the toilet the whole entire way in the front one, and you said you can't go in there.
That's right. I mean, I think it's a good idea. Why they're hanging out, I don't understand.
They're buddies. I mean, I don't know. To me, I don't know. He shouldn't even have been on the plane. What you played 20 snaps. You basically risk your best player for 20 snaps. And he probably missed his block half the time anyways.
You're probably right. You probably did. So, Tim, what are your other thoughts on the COVID? Because here we go. A lot of people aren't talking about this. You know, we play the Ravens off their bye week, and now we get to play another rival, the Bengals, right off of their bye week.
It's crap. I mean, to me, I'm getting to a point now to let him play with the COVID. Let everybody play with the COVID. I don't care if it goes rampant. These guys are star athletes. If a couple of them die, they die. Who cares?
Yeah, there you go. That's.
I mean, so, do I like it that the Bengals are coming off a bye? Who cares? TJ, the Bengals suck. You said they were. They stink, dude. They stink.
I gotta tell you, they make me a little nervous, especially now. It's one thing to have Ben, but here's a possibility. Now, obviously, if Ben continues to test negative, he'll play.
He did today.
Yeah. So we'll know Saturday, basically. So here's the thing, Tim.
TJ,
I watch possibility.
TJ, I've seen Ben. He wasn't even supposed to play. He was the emergency quarterback when they played somebody. He didn't practice all week. He was emergency quarterback. I think it was Landry. He got hurt in the game. Ben came in the game, threw for 500 yards, and we won by like 30 points.
That's Ben. That is Ben.
I mean, it's Ben. Ben can get out of. He can roll out of bed as long as he's got that walking boot in all week. He's fine. I don't care if if he has a headache. As long as he has the walking boot on, doesn't practice all week, he's fine. He's going to come. I wouldn't be shocked if Ben throws for 700 yards.
That would be great. We would need that. But there is a possibility we could see Mason, your buddy Mason.
If I see this, if I see his dumb face come on the field, with this dumb helmet on, that dumb dimpled chin, I'm going to go banana land.
Could be bad. It could be bad.
I mean,
I saw a stat today. He was the lowest rated passer in 2019. 2019. The lowest rated passer in 2019. Think about that. Think of how many crummy QBs are out last year. He was the bottom.
He sucks. He sucks. He stinks.
He does.
He sucks.
He does.
I have to watch this. I mean,
we could see that on Sunday.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, we could. We'll have to talk about that a little bit later because it's a possibility. We'll know Saturday. Hopefully Saturday everything is back, and we got some good thoughts on the injury report that we can talk about too, which I think is good. Before we get started on talking about the game, let's dip into the Yinzer mailbag. We got some stuff in the Yinzer mailbag. Again, you may ask, what is the Yinzer mailbag? That's when you, the fans, get to ask us anything you like about the Steelers or about our podcast or anything else. If you got any questions, you can send your questions to yinzerbros@gmail.com. Again, it's yinzerbros@gmail.com. We got some juicy questions today. Tim, are you ready? Look at you. For those of you that are listening, you can't see it. Tim has his high school football helmet on with the face mask removed, which actually isn't too far off from his Gateway career.
Let's go.
Is that even your helmet? Did you take it? It's actually backwards.
I did, but I've had to take out all the pads to the helmet to actually get it on.
So either the helmet shrunk or your head's getting bigger.
I mean, my head's getting bigger from probably putting on that metal hat. It's cut up my head each week.
You're probably full of the COVID. That's right. Here's a good question. Why can't the Steelers run the ball? Is it a line problem or a back problem? It's a good question, Tim.
It is a good question. I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah, it's a little bit of both, and I think it's a little bit of the situations they're in. I mean, the past two games, they've been down, and they've had to pass to get back into the game. So, hence, your running game is going to stink. I also think it's, Randy Fiechner running out of shotgun 24/7 and not just running some power. Just run the ball. Just run it. Getting too cutesy.
It makes you wonder. I don't know if, when I look at the Steelers' offensive line, I see more of a finesse line than a maul you line.
Are you nuts?
I'm just telling you, I do. Well, especially too, if you got Ebron in there too, when you lose that tight end, that gives you a lot.
Who is your finesse lineman on that line?
Well, I'm telling you, I don't see them moving people. Even Pouncey got rolled a couple times on
The
Sunday.
Castro's not a grader.
No, he is. But here's the thing. They're stopping him at the point of attack.
The other guy that they moved from tackle to guard this year, TJ, he's like 6'7", 330.
I'm just telling you, they don't seem like they're moving guys off the ball. I mean, the Dallas defensive line is not scary, and they played on our side of the line almost the whole game.
You were running back in high school.
Yes.
Kind of.
I was, dang it. Go ahead.
Kind of. When it comes to running the ball, it's like any other thing. Like a running back gets into a groove, the line gets into a groove. They're getting used to moving forward. When you're not doing that a lot of the time, your running game's going to stink. They're not getting into a groove. They're not letting them get into a groove to actually run the ball. Do I think that's all? Is it the running back's fault? No. Do I think it's the line's fault? No. I think a lot of it is truthfully is A, the play calling, and then B, Ben checking a lot of stuff and running some, extensions of the running game, those quick screens, because he has the keys to change that stuff. So partially I think it's that everything in general. The line is just not getting into a rhythm of coming off the ball and moving people.
You're right, because when you're pass blocking, it's different than run blocking. Run blocking, you're moving forward. Pass blocking, you're stepping back and you're creating pockets. Now, again, it looks like Watt is healthy this week too, which will probably, may make a difference too.
Well,
I don't know.
He may get in 2 plays where his hamstring explodes too.
He's got hammy issues. He does. I mean, when you look at our complement of backs last week, I'm sorry. I'm just where I'm at right now. I haven't seen enough of McFarland yet.
He's sick. He was out with an illness today.
Oh, sweet Lord.
You better keep him away from everybody.
Who was he sitting next to on the bus?
God knows. He's probably French kissing half the running back room for all we know.
Let's hope not. Samuels was on the COVID list too, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
I think he was actually.
That dude,
it made him slower. It can be bad. I don't know. I've told you my thoughts on Connor. I mean, I think he's a bruiser. I don't think he's got the greatest vision on the planet. And I was hoping we'd see a little bit more into Benny Snell too. I don't know. I think it's like you said, it's probably a little bit of both. I don't like the scheme, and the Steelers haven't had the luxury of being able to stick with the run because they've been behind. So you're right. I'll give you that. That's a good one. Let's see. Whose return means more to the Steeler defense, Hilton or Alu? There's a chance they both could be here. I think Hilton was a full participant. Alu was limited in practice.
Who is bigger? Oh, to me, Alu's bigger. I mean, golly, since he's been gone, I think I may be able to go get 30 yards off these guys.
Or you may be able to take Alu's space. You need a big guy taking up space in the middle. Mr. three and a half slices of deep dish pizza guy.
I've been 225 for 20 years.
225 circle of trust. That's right. I get it. So Alu, you think he's the guy, huh?
I mean, TJ, yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy. He's the guy.
I agree. I think he means more. I mean, Bugs, from Alu to Bugs, there is a steep decline in ability.
And there is, but you got to remember, Bugs is in his second year. The guys they have underneath him, the long-haired freak dude, I don't even know where he came from. He was probably picking up garbage last year.
Like that Philadelphia Eagles story. That guy, what was it, Invincible?
Yes, Bron Papelli or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Well, where's Wormley at? When does he get to come back?
That's a good call, man, because they put him on IR. I don't know if it's one of those 4-week IRs. I have no idea.
We're hurt. We need him.
He's good too.
Who's this Christmas guy that they brought on? Is he any good?
I think they brought him in at one point for her pre-draft stuff, and then he got drafted by somebody in the 6th round. He was in Florida State. Who knows? Probably not. He probably sucks. He'd have a job he'd have a job somewhere in a practice squad. So he probably stinks.
He probably stinks. He probably does. I'm with you. I think Alu's the guy. Let's see. Here's another question. With the possibility of Ben being out, do you have any faith in Mason Rudolph? We may have already answered this question.
Look at me. If you can't see me, sorry. Get on the YouTube and check it out. That tells you how much faith I have.
Well, that begs this question. What about Dobbs?
TJ, if I could turn this helmet sideways and look out the ear hole, I would for Dobbs.
Dobbs is smart and he's got legs.
So what, TJ? There's a lot of people that are smart in this world, have legs. Doesn't mean you can play football.
I do believe, last year in the preseason, Mason did beat Dobbs out, but it wasn't by much.
Obviously, it was by a lot because they traded Dobbs. They said, Dobbs, get out of town. You're going to Jacksonville.
Well,
he was the third stringer in Jacksonville.
Well, think about this. Would Dobbs have allowed somebody to hit him in the head with his own helmet?
That dude, face smasher, he could probably hit anybody in his face with a helmet.
We know that there would not be any
face. Have you seen Face Smasher without a shirt on?
Yeah, he's a pretty ominous guy.
Yeah, dude. Face Smasher, you don't want to meet in the dark alley.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Does Mason throw that much better than Dobbs?
Yes.
You're a Mason fan now.
No. No, I am not. I don't have trust me. No. At least Dobbs doesn't have a nickname. I don't even call Mason by his name. I just call him Dumbface.
Well, we'll see. We may see him. I don't know.
TJ,
it's interesting.
I have to see him. I don't know if my TV's going to make it through the game.
Oh, you've been wanting to get a new TV. Maybe this is the excuse. Well, here's another. It's a question connected to that. With Ben being 38, why didn't the Steelers get a quality backup?
TJ, I've been asking myself that every day of this season, every minute of this season. Why didn't we get a quality backup? When I see Jameis Winston signing, and he stink. He didn't know. Jameis was a good. TJ, the one guy that I said they should have went out and grabbed.
Joe Flacco?
I think he would have been.
So how did Flacco do the other night?
Wasn't bad. They almost beat them. He can make – TJ, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have Joe Flacco come in or this dumb face come in? Who would you feel more comfortable with if you had to get by 2 or 3 games?
Well, obviously Flacco because he's been in the league longer.
Exactly.
Because according to Flacco's own words, he's an elite quarterback.
He won a Super Bowl.
Tim, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls that I wouldn't call elite.
Well, not that many. There's not that many, TJ.
Would you consider Joe Flacco elite?
No, but he's better. He's better than Dumbface. You had him. You could have got for a bucket of nickels. Jameis Winston signed I think he signed for like $1 million in New Orleans. You could have had him.
Yeah, I like Winston. I think he'd be a good
yeah, I know he stinks. He throws 100 interceptions, and he's blind as a bat.
Well, so can you think of anybody in the league now that you think would be a decent backup for Ben that we could pick up? Other than who I would pick up for next year.
You mean as in next year pick up?
Yeah. They're not picking anybody up now.
I'd pick up Fitzpatrick.
Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
I'd pick up Darnold.
Here we go on this Darnold beat the crap out of train.
Well, they're not gonna draft a QB.
Why are you infatuated with Sam Darnold?
I like him. I think he's a good QB.
He's not. Have you sat down and watched the Jets play?
He's playing for the Jets, Tim.
TJ,
they're terrible.
TJ, he's not good. He's not good at football.
I think he's going to be. I think if he can the quicker you get him away from the Jets, the better he'll be.
You know who he is? You know who he has the potential to be?
Who?
Joe Flacco.
I think he throws a slightly better ball than Joe.
Joe Flacco?
Yeah.
Joe Flacco's mastered throwing the deep INT ball. Mastered it.
He is pretty good at that. Here's another question. Oh, Tim, this is one right up your alley. Tim, are you happy with the play of Barry, or should the Steelers go and look for another punter?
I look at it this way. He's played good because they put I think his feet is to the fire. Would I go find somebody else? Yeah, because that it's the cliff's coming. You can see it in the distance, and he is going to have a soul-crushing mistake at some point.
Tim, I live in my fears. No,
there's 3 people that are going to have a soul-crushing on something on this season. Ebron's going to have a soul-crushing drop. A soul-crushing drop. I like Ebron, but he has his moments where he just can't catch a cold. Terrell Edmonds will something will happen that he will cost us a game.
Hey, we picked up his brother again. Did you see that?
Next. And Barry will do something to make every Steeler fan want to go down to, was it 100 Art Way and grab his Aussie rear end and throw him into the lawn.
Maybe. I think he had a heck of a game last week.
You couldn't tell me. After that first punt, you're probably thinking,
I was getting nervous.
All I kept thinking was, leave him in Dallas. But then he did. After that, he was okay.
Yeah, he was. We needed a good punter last week. He did really well. So yeah, I think we're okay. I don't think they're going to bring another guy in right now. I think they're gonna roll with him.
Right now is the key word. Right now.
Now I was nervous.
Again,
I mean, initially with
that
with
cliff,
Boss.
I can see it. It's in distance.
I was nervous about Boss till he kicked that 59-yard.
Yeah, because normally when Boss misses like an extra point, you were like, this dude's a head case normally. He just starts missing everything, but the 59-yard.
That's ridiculous. I mean, I would you ever think in a million years that Boswell would kick a 59-yard field goal?
Well, dude, but you got to remember where he's kicking. I mean, he's permanently kicking in Heinz Field where, what's the longest field goal in Heinz Field? Like 53 yards ever?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe he can make this. Can you imagine? If he's a kicker in Denver, he'd probably be kicking 65-yard fields. Like, this dude's the best kicker in the league.
But he's with us. So, that dials him back. Hey, this is a good question. This is from Tori Lynn Harris, your niece and my daughter. She says, for every commentator, why is it never about how the Steelers win, but how the other team loses? I've noticed that. We've got no love. The only game that we got love with was against Cleveland. And I understand it was a complete effort, but every game we have played the best teams in the AFC, short of the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. We've beat them all. And it hasn't been pretty, but we've beat them all. Mm-hmm. And it's never about how the Steelers beat the Titans, how the Steelers beat the Ravens. It's always how the Ravens and the Titans lost the game. I mean, even last week, again, granted, the Cowboys were not a great team.
Yeah.
But Ben did throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
TJ, I guess people think, if you're an 8-0 team, you should be a dominant looking 8-0 team, and they haven't been dominant looking. And I guess, put it this way, I think if they did play the Chiefs and they did beat them, because the Chiefs, they have lost the game, but the games they've
two,
won,
haven't they?
No, they've lost one.
Oh, who lost two?
The Ravens lost two.
Well, they lost. Oh, so they lost to the Raiders. That's who they lost. That's the only one they lost to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But when the Chiefs win, they win in convention. It's like you don't, when you watch a Chiefs play, you're kind of like, even if they're down 30 points, you're like, they're still in this game. Like they have that old New England feel to them when Brady was there. Like they're always there. And that's what, to me, that's what dominant teams are kind of do. The Steelers, it's a coin toss. You can't put it this way, because I think a lot of people are looking at the Steelers from last year too, or even previous years. They get down and they sneak past people. They're like, but I also don't see the Chiefs playing down to their competition consistently like the Steelers do.
Well, their game this
every
week,
year,
they came from behind to win their game this week.
So what?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is this: what's the difference between you holding off your opponent and you coming back from behind to beat them?
The Steelers do it consistently. You may see that every once in a while from the Chiefs. The Steelers play down to their competition all the time.
Well, I think
theoretically, if Dumbface started this game, the Steelers should beat the tar out of the Bengals. They should. If Ben plays this game, they should beat the living tar out of this team. The only reason why people are talking about Burrow, he played Tennessee. They beat Tennessee. TJ, I watched that Tennessee Titan defense play. They couldn't get pressure in a powder puff game. They can't. They didn't. And they didn't sack Burrow. And if you want to talk about a team having a bad line,
the
Bengals have a terrible line.
Yeah.
I personally, the trap game, the Tomlin special that you're talking about, it ain't this week. It's next week. I think they're going to, if Ben plays this game, they're going to wax Cincinnati. They're going to sack Joe Burrow 10 times.
That'd be great.
I'm just telling you that I'd be stunned if Burrow makes it out of this game.
that'd be great.
That's how bad their line is. Everybody's blowing up Cincinnati. Like I said, Tennessee, it's like you watch them, it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen that gif of the guy when he's searching people before he goes into the game. That's what it looks like. That's what their line looks like. They're like, Cincinnati's line.
They're pretty bad. But, I mean, Burrow's still good, and they got some good wide receivers. I mean, you can't say they're
Yeah, you got great wide receivers, TJ. When you got a half a second to throw the ball, I don't care how good your wide receiver. And their star running back ain't playing.
No, he ain't.
Which is driving me banana land because he's one of my fantasy running backs. Absolutely killing me.
Well, he's a good guy. He's just not playing.
No, he's a bad guy too. But go ahead.
He is. Here's another. Boy, this is an interesting question here. Over the course of the next weeks, should the Steelers consider resting players, aka Ben, since they don't have a bye?
I mean, I don't think you can rest anybody until you know you have stuff wrapped up.
I mean, here's the thing. Like right now, if everything unfolds the way it's supposed to, top seed gets a bye.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't unfold like that, and they got to do some crazy stuff because of the COVID, there is no bye.
Yeah, but I mean, when are you going to know that?
You won't know until probably. I mean, give it 4 weeks, and you'll have a better idea. They're going to have to start. I mean, if COVID's going to show its head, it's going to be now. To
me, it's one of those things because the NFL is not going to say, "Well, next week's the playoff starts, so prepare." They're not going to do that. You know, they're going to try to give it as many weeks possible, even if they have to cancel games to kind of say, "Hey, you're getting prepared." That should be the rest enough a team would need. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not, like I said, I'm not thinking they're going to be like, we're calling the season right now, next week's playoff start. I just don't see that happening.
No, I don't think they'll do that either.
Because everything that I'm hearing too, the playoffs, I thought they were talking about maybe trying to put, once the playoffs hit, they put the teams in a bubble to do the playoffs kind of in a bubble area. I don't know how they do, but I mean, I guess you could pick a couple stadiums, a couple places. I don't know, but if the season progressed like it is now, I mean, it's tough. That one seed is going to be getting that bye is going to be huge, man.
Yeah, it will be.
I don't see Kansas City. If somehow Kansas City weird next couple of weeks drops a game or something like that, I would think about that if the Steelers are still undefeated. But I mean, as long as Kansas City's winning,
yeah, you got to keep your foot on the gas.
You got to keep your foot on the gas, man.
I'm with you. Yeah, you're right. If Kansas City drops a game, that's a different thing. But I mean, you think of how weird this is. Imagine even like the Super Bowl, and 3 days before the Super Bowl, your starting quarterback tests positive for COVID. I mean, it's just bananas.
I agree, dude. I mean,
Can you imagine that? You fight all the way to get up there, and let's say you have an outbreak. You have 6 or 8 guys that go on the COVID list on the eve of the Super Bowl.
Can you imagine the eve of the Super Bowl if Ben gets straight with COVID?
Stop! Don't even speak that.
And I gotta. It's like my worst. It's like my worst nightmare. I'm gonna have a nightmare about this tonight, seeing Dumbface come running out of the tunnel. Dumbface going against Tom Brady. Oh,
boy! I'll tell you what. Brady looked terrible, absolutely terrible last week. I was so happy. He looked bad.
There'll still be a way that
3 picks.
He'll face Ben in the Super Bowl and receive. Wouldn't be Ben, it'll be Dumbface, and I'll be like, "Come on, man, this is."
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be? I'm not saying it is, but wouldn't it be great if the addition of Brown started the decline of the Tampa Bay Bucks?
That'd be pretty sweet.
I mean, Brady goes down the tube. There's there's internal strife. They're gnawing at each other. And in 3 weeks, the team just explodes.
Next thing you know, Antonio Brown has a gold mustache and gold hair. It'd be great.
I think it'd be wonderful. Sorry. That does it for the Yinzer mailbag. Again, if you got any questions for us, any comments, any ideas, any endorsements, you can send all of those things to our email address with the yinzerbros@gmail.com. Again, that's yinzerbros@gmail.com. If you're lucky enough, you may get your question answered on this national podcast. We're a national podcast, coast to coast.
This helmet is driving me crazy.
I think it's great. I'm imagining all the things that are living in those old. I mean, that's old school. Tim, you know how many years it's been since you played a high school football game?
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
That's what I would say.
A long time.
It's amazing because I look at your face now, even without the pads, that helmet is squeezing your face together.
I mean, this thing has been sitting for, I can only imagine what type of mouse poops in this. I put this on my head anyways.
Well, oh dear
I'm
Lord.
gonna wake up
Think about the
tomorrow.
COVID.
My whole head's gonna be black.
Probably. So we have a game coming up this week, us versus the Bengals. We could move to 9-0, which is just staggering to me. Tim, what are some of your initial thoughts about the game?
If Ben doesn't play, we're screwed.
So do you think if Ben doesn't play, do we have a chance?
Yeah, we should win this game, even if Ben doesn't play.
So
as long as they pull somebody out from out on the crowd and let them play quarterback for the week,
it should be fine. So let's talk about the Steelers offense. What do you think the Steelers offense needs to do in order for the Steelers to win? What are some of your keys to victory?
To me, I mean, if Ben does play, he's not going to get in the game plan until Saturday. I think they think that's something, if he gets cleared, they're going to have a longer walkthrough on Saturday for Ben. I mean, again,
does he really need the practice?
No, I don't know. To me, I don't know if he's gonna be sharp. You know what I mean? But who knows? At some point, you got to start establishing the running game.
Yeah,
you have to. You got to force it. I mean, I'm sorry, you have to force it because as this weather turns and it gets later in the season, you got to have a running game, man. When you get in the playoffs, you got to have a running game. So to me, first things first, you got to establish a run. Bengals defense isn't that great. Establish a run, dominate these guys in the line, and go from there. That's kind of like my where I'd kind of start with this whole thing.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think definitely the Steelers. I mean, even the Bengals defensive backs, their pass defense isn't very good either. And we've got. I mean, we give them all kind of matchup problems. So who are your? Give me who's your player to watch on the offense? Who do you think's gonna just ring the bell for us?
I'm just gonna say it. I think they're gonna. I think because of everything happening this week, even though I don't think Ben needs the practice or whatnot if he plays, I still think they're gonna really try to push the run. And to actually, I mean, and that's the other magical thing. You do not know what's up with his knees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hurt both of his knees. For all we know, Ben. There could be something seriously wrong with his knees. He just doesn't care. You know what I mean? So, because he knows he's at the end of getting to the end of the road. He's just like, whatever, I'm going to tough it out. So to me, protecting him a little bit, I mean, I would pump the run, and I think it's going to be Connor. That's my player of the game. James Conner, I think, is going to have one of those games where you're going to kind of go, wait, he is half decent.
Yeah. I think, I think best case scenario, the Steelers get up early on this game, and hopefully maybe by the midway through the fourth, beginning of the fourth, you see somebody else, Mason or somebody come in. I think Juju's going to make an impact this game. I just don't know why. I think he's starting to ride the wave again. Mm-hmm. One thing I noticed about Juju last week, it's not that he's just got great hands and he's got, can catch stuff. He's not just a safety blanket. To me, it looks like he got stronger and bigger.
Yeah, he got thicker. You could tell he got thicker, man.
He
looks like he almost got a Anquan Bolden kind of.
He does. He does. I didn't realize how strong he got. He ran over. I mean, when he scored that touchdown, he just imposed his will on those guys.
We got number two. Juju's young, man. So I mean, it wasn't like he's still growing into a man's body. I think when he got in the league, he was 20.
He was young. He was the youngest in the league.
Yeah. And I think don't get me wrong. I still think he's, besides Claypool, he's the youngest receiver in that room. I mean, in age wise, not in league, but age wise. So most, I'm still maturing into my body.
You keep eating those deep dish pizzas. That'll be great.
I mean, but most guys, you really don't get the peak to your body till you're like 24 and 26. So
he does look thicker, stronger, and boy, he catches everything.
Yeah,
you just gotta love that guy. Okay, well let's flip over to the defense now. What do you think the Steeler defense needs to do in order to win this game?
He's got to put pressure on Burrow. I mean, you gotta make him see ghosts. You make him see ghosts. You put pressure on him. I don't care. I know he's a number one pick and he's looked good. I don't care. I mean, if you had Tom Brady back there and you're pressuring him and you're getting into his face, Tom Brady's not going to be Tom Brady.
Mhm.
You think those TJ Watt and Bud Dupree should feast this game. Feast this game. They should be destroying them. They should be destroying them. That front four should be destroying them. And I'm kind of excited. This may be kind of a blessing in disguise, too, is you had Vince Williams out all week. The guy from the Jets, he's getting all the reps.
He is.
So I think this may be a blessing in disguise.
And your guy, and Spillane.
Good God. Yeah. But I think this may be a blessing in disguise. You're going to kind of get Avery kind of into the defense. I think he's going to see more playing time because he has to. So to me, you pressure Burrow, and I put it this way: like I said, their star running back's not playing. Mixon, he is very good. Mixon is very, very good. You got Gio Bernard playing. I'd be concentrating on Joe Burrow and just beating the tar out of him.
Mm-hmm. This would be a good showing for the defense to really have a complete effort. So who's your defensive player of the game?
I think TJ Watt is going to have a monster game. I'm talking maybe 3 sacks, forced fumble here and there. I think he's going to have a monster game. Yeah.
I think this could be great, especially if we get Alu back. I think it'll give them, boy, I'll tell you what, when they get that pressure up the middle and off the sides, there's just nowhere to go.
To me, I would take my time with Alu. If he's even an inch hurting, I'm not playing him this week. I'm not playing him next week. I'm saying you rest up, you be prepared for Thanksgiving night. That's kind of where, if he's even remotely, you should win these games without these 2 games. You should win without Alu. You should. Long-haired freak and the rest of the clowns should be feeling fine.
I think you're right. I think our outside guys are going to have a great game. I'm going to call our player of the game.
Do it.
You know what? I think Tuitt's going to have a game.
Yeah.
I just think he's going to maul people this week.
I thought you were going to say Edmonds. It's about to be.
No, it's not going to be Edmonds. No, Edmonds he's holding on for dear life. He is the, you know who he is? He's the Ringo Starr of the Steelers. You know who Ringo Starr is?
I mean, I know who he is, but I mean,
he's the weakest Beatle. Of all the Beatles, are all epic except Ringo. Do you know that Ringo Starr didn't even play drums on most of their stuff? It was John.
Ringo Starr was still a Beatle. I mean,
Trey Edmonds, he's still a Steeler. But he's just there by the skin of his teeth. No, he's not Mika.
He's not
even these other guys.
I wouldn't even give him Ringo Starr status.
Well, you might be right. I don't know. No, I think Tuitt's going to be great.
I think I'm 100% right on that.
I think too. You know what's funny? I think I don't know why. I got a feeling. I just got a feeling. I think Highsmith's going to come up big this week.
Yeah, he might.
In fact, I'm going to make a prediction here. I think Highsmith's going to have another pick.
That's bold.
It is bold. It is bold. But I think he's going to have another pick. I think Bros. You've heard me. My thoughts on that. I still think he's the second best quarterback in the conference. It's just me. But I don't know if he has seen a defense like the Steelers yet.
He hasn't, TJ.
He saw one close.
Who?
The Ravens. And the Ravens punished them. I think what they lose, like 27-3?
No. That game was very close, the Raven game and Baltimore game. They were up on them big and they came back a little bit. That game was fairly close.
Not the Ravens. The Ravens slapped them around. Trust me.
The Bengals and the Ravens?
Yeah. Look it up. Look it up while I talk. Look it up. Right, I think it was 27-3 if I remember correctly. Again, my memory might be a little on the older side. They beat them pretty good. I mean, they were close on all the other games, but not the Ravens.
You're right. Maybe this helmet's squeezing my head to shreds. My brain. It was 27-3.
I think I heard that. Did I hear that somewhere? It's 27-3. So I just think
you're right. How did you know that?
I'm a fountain of useless knowledge, Tim.
Yikes.
A fountain of useless knowledge. It sticks out in my head because I do. I've been watching Burrow. I like what he does. I think he's a solid QB. I got to tell you this though. I mean, the Bengals have had decent QBs. They just ruin everything that they get. Dalton wasn't awful.
I mean, here's my thing. Okay, he's looked good. Really, the only good defense he played to me was the Ravens. I mean, the Eagles were okay. They put up 23 points on them. They're his defense, but everybody else they played. Their defenses were garbage, TJ. So to me, yeah, he looks good. I want to see what happens when he sees big boy defense. But then again, who knows? Because dumbface Dilbert looked like Johnny U last week against his defense. So who knows?
That's true. No, I think you're totally right. And I think we got to be ready for whatever. But no, I think you're right. So Tim, thinking of the game, give me your score prediction. What do you think the score is going to be?
Am I giving this prediction minus Ben or with Ben?
Give me each. Humor me. Let's say with Ben. What's your prediction with Ben?
35-10.
Ooh, I like that. I like the optimistic, spunky Tim. I like that. Without Ben.
10-3.
Mason, he's just not your guy, is he?
Mason's not scoring that touchdown. The defense is scoring that touchdown.
You're probably right. I'm going to say with Ben, 31-10. Without Ben, I think the defense will come up bigger.
20,
9
to 3.
Yeah, 9 is pretty big. I'm going to say without Ben, 24-10.
TJ, without Ben, there isn't a God's chance in heck they're scoring 24 points.
You never know. The defense.
I don't think last year, and they had like a top, I don't think they scored 24 points the whole time with Ben gone last year.
That's true, because they were terrible.
What makes you think they're going to score 24 points with Dumbface, Boz? Not Dumbface. Who's the other one?
Duck?
No.
Dobbs?
Dobbs. And I would dress all three of them. I'd say, hey, they put them all three on the field at the same time just to really freak the defense out.
Yeah, you know about those would be a powerhouse there. What
I'd do is I put Mason out there with no face mask. I put Dobbs out there looking out of his ear hole, and I'd put Duck with his helmet on backwards and just let him go.
That would be great. I think that could be interesting. That's for sure. Well, Tim, anything else? Tim is trying to get the helmet off his head. That's going to leave a mark, Tim. That's all I'm going to say.
Helmet feels like it's just squeezing my brain.
It looks like it. But I got to tell you this: you actually have you ever like grab a thing of Play-Doh and you smush it in your hands and it kind of elongates your head? Your head's never looked thinner. It's never.
That's what it feels like. I'm gonna take this thing off and my head's gonna look like the actual like an actual light bulb.
It might. Tim, anything else you'd like to add to the podcast today?
No, we got to hurry and get this podcast done because this thing is ripping my brain to shreds.
All right. Again, the Steelers, the 8-0 Steelers face the 2-5-1 Bengals this Sunday. Again, let's hope for the win.
TJ, Mason can't play a game because I can't wear this during a podcast again. I just can't do it.
You know, I would say this: if Mason does have to come in and he wins, I think right after the Franco's Italian Army helmet, you got to wear that helmet the rest of the podcast.
That's going to be like a 6-minute podcast.
I'm just telling you. How committed are you, Tim?
TJ, not only is this thing ripping my brain to shreds, I don't know what type of rash I'm going to have on my head tomorrow.
We'll have to observe that. So let's hope for the win. Again, if you like what you hear from the Yinzer brothers, spread the word, spread the podcast around. That would be great for us. Again, I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the Yinzer Bros. Thank you for listening. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.